Hello everyone and welcome to Film Sandwich. I'm Kid Ron Burgundy, and on today's episode we are talking about the YoloBox Ultra. Okay, the YoloBox Ultra is a pretty awesome live streaming device. It can do so much more than that. So let's go ahead and go into it. Not long ago we did a review on the YoloBox Pro, which we were just like completely blown away about all the features that it can do. It's pretty amazing that this little tablet-like device can just do so much. So this video is a full review, basically going through all the things that it can do. So it's kind of long. I'm going to put some chapter points here so you can skip around. And all right, let's go ahead and get into what we have here. Is the YoloBox Ultra here. Now you're going to notice something different here is that let's see, when you first turn it on, you're going to get this screen right here, and you got three modes here. Now before you only had live streaming and monitor mode, but now you also have a vertical streaming mode. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and go right into the live streaming mode. Real quick, monitor mode, all that does is basically make it so you can use it as like a monitor for your camera. Then you can record to it, like say an Atomos recorder or something similar. And then it's a nice big 8-inch display that you can see the feed from your camera. And that's it. It just doesn't have the live streaming function, but you can do everything else, graphics, titles, overlays, all that mess. And you can cut multiple cameras together at the same time. So we're going to go right in here. We're going to go enter the live streaming. Now this is horizontal live streaming. And then this probably looks familiar if you're a YoloBox user. This is like the kind of the home area here where you can go ahead and go hit the plus sign here. I'm going to go back one second. So you see you have standard events and you have YoloCast events. YoloCast events are in beta, it says. And I believe that's if you have a YoloCast account and you have there's ways that you can stream to the YoloCast account, and you can also bring in pre-recorded videos and stuff like that and send it out right through YoloCast. But we're going to stick with the standard events here. We're going to go ahead and start a new event. We're going to put this as the YoloBox Ultra review. All right, and then you click there. You can put a description there. That's optional. You know, I can see if like you're probably running a whole lot of live streams to your YoloCast account, you might be able to put some description in there so it makes it a little easier to figure out what stream is which. You can optionally schedule your stream for a future date, but we're not going to do that now. We're just going to go to create and stream right away. And once you do that, you click on that little thumbnail there, and you're going to go ahead and pull up the main little page here that has all of the features down here at the bottom, all the different options. You can kind of go through those. Right now I have 6 cameras connected, and if you notice, there's 4 of them connected with HDMI and 2 of them connected with USB-A ports. I've left the USB-C port. You could plug one more camera in there, like a webcam style camera. Either like I have an Insta360 Ace Pro right here that it works great as a webcam. You just plug it in. You can choose webcam mode and bam, it's already a webcam. I also have the Canon R5C over here, which is the main camera that has a webcam mode on the USB-C port. So I've actually plugged that in as a webcam to the YoloBox Ultra, which is pretty amazing. And then I have 3 GH5, Panasonic GH5 cameras of different flavors plugged into the HDMI ports, and then one more HDMI port is a GoPro 7 because that one has a micro HDMI port on the camera itself. So I was able to plug a micro HDMI cable into there and run it right into there. So 6 different camera sources all at one time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one feature here. One of the new cool features here is the ISO recording. What that means is that you can record a certain amount of camera streams depending on what resolution you're at. Now, if you're at 720, you can record all the streams that I have here, all 6 of them, plus the program stream. But I think you can record a few more in 720. In 1080, there's a limitation. I think you can only do the 7 different sources or streams here. So I have all 6 camera sources being recorded and the program being recorded, the program stream. So whatever your live editing that you've done, that is going to be in your program stream. So I have that at 1080, and as you go up in 2K, you can record, let's see here, you can record less streams. A little finicky there on the, I think that's almost it there. I think I can do 4. So it tells me I've reached the upper limit there. So I can do 4 on 2K. And with 4K, you can do just 1 stream of recording. So you're probably going to do like your program stream on that one. I'm sure as time goes on, as processors get better, you'll be able to do 4K and do an infinite amount of streams. Who knows? But as of right now, there are some limitations. But the limitations are just way better than what we've had in the past with any live streaming device. Okay, so I've selected all of my streams plus my program stream. You can choose your frame rate, you can choose your bit rate, 13,000 kilobytes, I think that's what, 13 megabytes per second is the max that you can do per stream. You have the choice of H.264 and H.265. H.265 is a kind of a newer codec for MP4 files where you can have smaller file sizes but still retain really high quality. So if you have that option to do that in your nonlinear editing system, I know that some people have issues with H.265. Some people are fine. I'm usually fine. It usually just takes downloading a codec and installing it on your computer. That way your computer can read that file. I'm just going to keep it at H.264 because as of right now, that's the most compatible. You can choose the recording limit for your stream. So like you can have it break it up into 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute segments or just continuous. What's good about that is if something happened, you lost power or something, you would not lose the entire file. You would just lose the 10 minutes at a time. So say you recorded an hour and the last 10 minutes, the power went out or something happened, something crazy, and you would at least have 50 minutes of that stream still available in your recording. And then, of course, there's storage settings of where you want your recordings to go. Right now, I just have an SD card plugged in here, but if you say plugged in a USB flash drive here, which is what I'm going to attempt to do, you might be able to record to that. So you could hit that portable storage, or you could hit the SD card. All right. So that is the ISO recording section there. What I'm going to do, I want to go ahead and I want to record this stream. So I'm going to hit record. And then it has a little window that pops up and says, hey, we're going to record this at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Here's all the sources that we're going to do. Here's the SD card. That's where we're going to record it to. It has 203 gigabytes of area to record to. And then if you haven't set it up, the ISO recording, you can click there. If not, just click Start. And now we are recording internally to the YoloBox Ultra. That is a total of 7, count them, 7 streams of video recording separately to the YoloBox to an SD card. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so next thing I want to do is I want to go over here to, let's see, another thing is that, I have 6 sources here right now that are all recording, but say I wanted to bring in an NDI device. So there's cameras, you can get apps to turn your phone into an NDI device, and there's other ones that I'm not fully aware of, but big ones are like the pan, tilt, zoom camera systems. A lot of those are NDI. What's cool about that, you could attach it to Wi-Fi if you wanted to, but would be better if you had Ethernet. But as long as everybody is on the same network, the YoloBox can recognize the NDI devices and bring them in as a camera source. So let's see if we can do that here. I'm going to click there and see if this comes up. And there we go. I have my iPad here. I have an iPad here. It has an app on there called Shoot Pro, and that will turn your iOS device into an NDI camera. So I'm going to click there and done. So now I've imported this as an NDI device. So now this is a camera that is in my stream right here. I can switch back and forth. I haven't gone through the other cameras yet. There's my main camera right there, right? And if I turn around here, I can show you like, oh, look, there's some of my lights and setup here. And then there's me as another NDI camera source. So that is pretty amazing. You could have some cell phones set up around with the, the Shoot application on there, and you could have wireless cameras in your stream. Pretty amazing. There are something that I want to tell YoloBox though, is I want to tell YoloBox that I really wish that you guys had your own proprietary wireless camera links for the YoloBox. I know there's a company called Sling Studio that's pretty much dead now, but they had these proprietary wireless camera links that would just connect to their system. Another thing too is that they were able to connect Wi-Fi directly to their system with cell phones too, kind of similar to the NDI. But it was all like internal system, and it worked really well. There wasn't any latency or anything, so very cool stuff. But yeah, the NDI, I mean, look at that. You got another camera there. So now I have 7 camera sources all at one time. Here I got my top-down shot showing, the YoloBox Ultra close up. I have a GH5 right over here on HDMI. That's like a BTS camera. I have another camera back here that is showing another angle here. I just wanted to have a bunch of cameras connected just to kind of see, the ability that the YoloBox has here. Let's see here. I have my GoPro 7 over there as the big wide BTS shot there. The USB 1 is my Insta360 Ace Pro. I can't talk enough about this camera. It's such a versatile little camera. I mean, look, I'm using it as a webcam right here in webcam mode. It's plugged with a USB-C port, and it's pretty amazing. I tried GoPros. The GoPros, you cannot use it as a webcam unless you use another program that's on the computer. So you wouldn't be able to use USB-C out of the GoPro into the YoloBox and use it as a webcam, which I think is, I don't understand that. If Insta360 can do it, GoPro's been around way longer. Don't understand that. And then there's my main camera right there. All right, so what is next? We've got all these different camera feeds here that we can go through, right? All right, so next I want to talk about the network bonding. So with network bonding, what that does is that you can take, the YoloBox Ultra has a SIM card slot, so you could put a SIM card in there. That way you could have internet service out and about, around town or somewhere, as long as you have a connection with your internet service provider through your cell company. And then you can take that and then you can bond that with Wi-Fi. So say you're in a building that has Wi-Fi, you could bond to that. And then you can also bond to Ethernet. I have an Ethernet port right here So if you have a wired Ethernet, you can plug that in there. Another thing too is if you have one of those USB internet modem dongle things, you can plug that into one of the USB ports. And then you can take all 3 to 4 of those different internet connections and bond them all together into one. Basically what happens with internet, if you have just one of those connections, the internet goes like this. It's like a wave. So the speed goes up and down. And that isn't always great for when you're streaming, especially when you're in a place where the internet is low and you're trying to stream a good high quality stream, but the internet connection is low. So you have to adjust your bit rate and you have to send out something that is more compressed. But with this, what you can do is that you bond all those streams together, those internet streams. That way if one slacks down, other ones can push it up, fill in those gaps. So now you have one solid steady stream that's not going like that. It's going like this, right? So that just makes it a lot more reliable, so to speak. You'll have more reliable internet in that situation. I did talk to the YoloBox people about their network bonding because I have my own device that I've used before called PepLink, and it's just a box that you bond the internet there, but there isn't an extra fee. You just pay one big one-time fee there, but after that, it's just your SIM card service providers that you have to pay. See, with YoloBox, what happens is that theirs goes to a node, not necessarily the cloud, but they told me a node that it goes there, gets bonded, and then comes back. So that is why that they have a charge there. It's because that they do some behind-the-scenes work to make that internet bonding work. So if you look here, you can click there, you can run a internet connection speed to test and see what your connection is all about, how fast it is. So it's telling me I got a solid 44 megabytes per second upload. Great. So it says, it'll tell you what your totally available speed is right there. Anyways, you go through all your settings here. You can log in with your email account there. Let's see here. You can choose your power down modes here if you want it to power down after a certain amount of time of inactivity. You can adjust your language, time zones. They get some frequently asked questions. You can rotate the screen around if you prefer to spin it around. Let's see here. Diagnostics logs, you can do a factory reset. You can access all of the recordings that you have on there. You can select them, delete them. Keyboard settings, firmware, telling me that I've got the latest. You can know about the device, the software version, firmware version, MAC address, serial number, all that jazz, and then your network settings. Also, too, there are Bluetooth settings here. What's cool about the Bluetooth settings is that you can attach a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse to this device, as well as headphones. So you could essentially use a keyboard to type things in and use the mouse pointer to move around and navigate and click on things instead of using your hands, using the touch screen. So essentially this is like a full-blown computer right here that can live stream and do all kinds of stuff. Oh, and you can record the NDI device if you so desire, which is another cool thing. There's no audio on the NDI. I'm also noticing there's no audio on the USB-C from my R5C, but there is audio coming from the Insta360 Ace Pro. So I don't know if it's just one of the USBs is allowed to have audio and another one doesn't. Maybe YoloBox can tell me something about that, but I don't see it here. If I go to my sound settings, might as well talk about this now since we have that open. So these are your sound settings here. You got this little speaker here. What's cool is that you can mix in all of your inputs except for the one USB, the USB 2, which is my main camera here. That one I cannot. I'm going to start recording. So on the USB 2, it is not letting me record. It's not letting me have audio in here, but all of my other inputs, I even have Zoom H6 here that I have my microphone connected to here, and that is plugged into the mic jack of the YoloBox Ultra. So you can bring in, there is a line and mic jack that you can bring in external audio. Let's see here. You can also bring in a USB microphone. So here I have a Rode Wireless Go 2 that I'm turning on. And then you can plug that into the USB-C port. And then you will have a USB-C microphone here that you can toggle on as your mic input. One thing I did notice is if you have the YoloBox Ultra powered while you're bringing in an analog mic source here, so from the H6, this analog source, there appears to be a kind of buzzing sound in it. I don't know if that's like a weird thing that could be fixed with firmware, but there's probably some kind of, I watched it in some other guy's video before where he needed some kind of a device that went in between there to deal with that sound issue. But if you unplug the power from the YoloBox, it will not have that sound in the analog. And also, it does not happen on the USB-C input. So if you wanted to bring external audio in, you would probably want to use the USB-C input with your microphone instead of the analog, because if you wanted to keep the YoloBox powered for the entire time, you would definitely need, you'll definitely have that noise issue that I've run into. Now, in my early testing, I don't think I had that issue. I had like so many things plugged in along with power, and I didn't have that issue. So I don't know if anything happened with the last firmware there or what, but that is something that has happened to me recently. I'm going to plug my headphones in and see what I can hear. All right, so I got my headphones plugged in, and then this is my Rode Wireless Go 2. There's a little bit of a delay between there. It's like a half second, so it's kind of throwing me off when I talk. But it's cool that the USB microphone sounds so much better quality than the analog version. So I would recommend, if you're going to input audio in here, USB-C would be the way to go. If you have a Rode Wireless mic or something similar, DJI mic probably will work as well. Or if you have any other USB microphone. All right, so now I'm going to listen to, let's see here. I'm going to listen to the mic jack here. I have a boom microphone connected there, and I can hear myself. Now if I plug this power in, it has like a weird like winding noise, like a wee. But as soon as I unplug it, it all goes away. So that is something to keep in mind. Probably could be fixed with a firmware update. So we will see about that. But anyways, back to the audio. There is, you can, turn on or off your different audio sources here, your different camera sources. So, you could have a wireless mic plugged into any of these cameras, and then you could mix those in all together. Say you have, say you have 3 people in an interview and you have 3 cameras, you could essentially just have everything plugged into the cameras and then have the audio come through the HDMI into the YoloBox and then mix it that way. Or you could have a external mixer, but with that, if you want to power the YoloBox at the same time and you're plugging it in with this analog cable, you might have a little bit of a sound issue there. Okay, so definitely being able to mix all your audio sources is pretty cool. All right, so Let me go ahead and just record that. All right. So that is the audio. We'll go over here to settings. All right, so we're going to go through all the settings here. First one here is video switching control. Now you can choose whether you want to click your, the different cameras once to switch, or if you want to double click to switch. So that is just a personal preference for most. Let's see here, local video switching. So this is when they're talking about your local pre-recorded video files that you have on an SD card or hard drive. You can either choose to have it continue playing when you switch it. You can have it resume from the first frame and then pause when you switch it, or you can have it just pause when you switch. So that way when you go back to it, it's right where you left off from. Personal preference. I would personally like to see YoloBox have a way that you could scrub through your pre-recorded local videos. That way you could always just queue up the spot that you want it to be when you're ready to go to it, instead of like not having that control. That's one thing that I think that could be added that would give another level of control to your pre-recorded videos. Okay, next is the local videos play mode. Now, your local videos, if like say you switched and you made it to where they kept playing, you can have it to where they could just loop after they're done playing, or they'll stop at the last frame. All right, so now we got video out settings right here. So I have right here it says program out. So if you wanted to say send your video signal with the US or the HDMI output and plug it into a TV or such, you could do that. And then right now what we see here is the view of what the YoloBox is, the YoloBox's screen. But if I click this program out, it'll give me just the program out stream. So now it's just one big image on my TV there. So that is another preference there. Say you're at an event and you need to be able to output the stream to like a projector screen or something for another room that needs to see in there. You'd be able to send that signal out without having any of the other information that is unnecessary. You can also choose to have your program out be 50 frames or 60 frames per second. You can choose to have the USB-C be your program out or your output. And what that means is that you could take and plug that into a computer, and you could use Zoom, or you could use it as like another way to live stream in another platform. Say you've used up all of your free YoloBox platforms that you're sending out a stream to, you could plug it into a computer and send one more out if you wanted to. So that's pretty amazing. And then you can also flip it horizontally. So, it depends on how it's really a preference. You might want it to be this way or that way. Let's see here, if I flip it horizontally. Does that do anything for me? It's not really doing anything. I think that's only on the USB-C out will it do the horizontal flipping there. All right, so now we have the video out settings. Then we have the NDI out here. You can send a program stream NDI out. Basically what that means is if you have another NDI device on your network that you wanted to send your streams to, you could click there and then you could choose if you want the program stream or any of the other camera streams. You could send that out. What's helpful there is I've seen it in like big broadcast scenarios where they have like those Blackmagic studio cameras, and they have that same kind of thing where the operator running the live stream can send the camera operators the program out stream so they can see what's being broadcasted live as well, so they know where they need to be in their positioning. So that is another cool thing. You can set video source transitions. So basically, you can choose between all these different transitions. Whenever you cut to another camera, it'll have one of these transitions. I generally just use cuts because they're just professional, they're quick, and you don't really need all that fluff all the time, but it is good to have them there for those of you who do like that stuff. Then you can, of course, change your duration of the transition right there. Let's see here, stream encoding settings. Now this is the settings that you're going to set for quality level of your stream. So here you have CBR, which is constant bit rate, which means the bit rate you're sending out stays the same the entire time, no matter if the image gets dark or light or whatever. The stream constant bit rate, the bit rate will always be constant. And then you can choose constant quality, which means you can keep the quality always constant, but the bit rate might go up and down. And then you have the variable bit rate, which it doesn't worry about the quality so much. It's just going to go up and down in quality depending on if there's light or dark scenes. You ever notice, like, sometimes if you go variable bit rate and you have a scene that is darker, it might get a little pixelated looking or lesser quality looking. So I always keep mine at constant bit rate because I want my bit rate of my stream to always be the same quality the entire time. And then you can choose the bit rate of the stream. So right now it's at the 13,000 kilobytes. But depending on where you're streaming to, so you can adjust your bit rate of your stream, depending on your platform. They might have limitations on the bit rate amount that you can push into their platform. I know on my website, I do like wedding live streams there all the time, and I think I'm like capped at like 2.5 megabytes stream, which is kind of stupid. But anyways, I'm limited, so I have to go down here and go to like, 2,000 or 3,000, but I'm going to go there. All right, so frames per second, you can choose the frames per second that your stream is, and then you can choose your encoding format, H.264 or H.265. The H.265 is a more compressed but still very high quality encoding format, but not all platforms are going to be compatible with that. Like, say, Facebook doesn't let you do the H.265. I'm not sure about YouTube. I haven't tried them yet. But Facebook, it even says it on there, you can't do it with the H.265. So you'll have to go with the H.264. But those are just some options that you have there for your stream encoding settings. Next, we're going to go to SD card management here. And as you can see, I have stuff on the SD card. And these are all like videos that I've recorded with the YoloBox, and then probably some of the pre-recorded stuff that I have on there from before. You can see that there is a lot. You can select them. You can hit select all. Then you can delete them if you want. But I am not going to delete mine just yet. Yep, so selecting them. And then it kind of gives you like a little progress meter of how much space you have left. Okay, SD card management. Next is portable storage management. Now that, I unplugged this flash drive, but I'm going to try plugging it back in and see if that will pop back up. So basically, it's the same as the SD card management. You can look on there and see the amount of storage that you have left. And if you had any video files, which I do not have on here, they would probably show up there. All right. Next is the streaming mode. Now you can do either a direct single platform stream, or you can use YoloBox's, Yololiv's multi-stream service. So what that means is that you can stream to more places at once, usually up to 3 for free. You can stream at one time, which is pretty amazing. I don't know of any other streaming company that I can do that with. Like with my Sling Studio, I can only go to one destination, and as far as I know, the Blackmagic system's also just one destination. Now, there are other services that you can pay extra for to go to multiple destinations at one time. And depending on how many you want to go to, depends on how much you can pay. I also believe there are some subscriptions through YoloBox that you can go to more destinations than 3. There are some subscription fees for that, but 3 for free is pretty dang awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select that one. And then what else do we have here? We have replay settings. So let's say you're doing sports or any kind of, live streaming where you want to do an instant replay. You have those options here. You can select it. You can choose the slow motionness of your replay. You can choose the duration of your replay. What is this? Is this, maybe this is audio? Yeah, I guess that's audio. You can also mute other audio sources during the replay if you want, and you can show the replay overlay on the program. So that's pretty cool stuff. I can see if you're doing a lot of sports, that could come in really handy. And then since we were just talking about sports, there's another thing here that's great for sports, which is the scoreboard display here. So you can, display a scoreboard right there. You can see here, display it. You can make it bigger. You can move it down here. You can choose how much points your team has. You can add a timer on there. You can choose a countdown timer on there. Here's the time control. If you hit play, probably if I put in like 5 minutes, 20. Oops. Oh. Back. 5 minutes. Done. And then if you hit play, it'll count that down. So see where it says first half there is now counting down. So that's pretty cool. And it can hit reset the time if you want. You can choose if it's a first half, second half. You can choose the styling. You can choose the type of game, if it's football, baseball, font, text color, background color, the team. You can import the team logos. I mean, it's just so much you can do for just, it's just not much money for all that you can do here. I mean, before, these systems all had to be separate systems that would all plug into a thing. Like you'd have to have like a big table with probably like 3 or 4 guys all doing 3 or 4 different things. You probably had an audio guy, a graphics guy, what is it here, a scoreboard guy, and then a guy doing the video part, switching all that and doing it all together. And here you have it in one freaking device. That is crazy. All right, so that is the scoreboard there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause that, and I'm going to get rid of this scoreboard here. Do I just hold down, press? How do I get rid of my scoreboard? Oh, I think I just go up here and click it off. There it is. All right, so pretty easy to add a scoreboard and adjust all the settings, colors, team logos, all that right here in the YoloBox Ultra. All right. Next thing I want to go to is the auto switching. So most of the time you're probably not going to auto switch because whatever the event that you're doing, you're going to need to switch to certain cameras at certain times. But if you're in a situation where you just want to go through the camera angles at, ever so often, like, hey, every 30 seconds I want camera A, and the next 30 seconds camera B. So you can actually adjust that here. You can hit the video sources and choose all the different video sources that you want to add into there. So I'm going to go ahead and just select them all. And then back out. Right, so now you can see here I have all my different video sources here. And then if I wanted to be, I want this guy to be 14 seconds, and I want this guy to be, 16 seconds. And these other guys I'll just leave at 10 right now. I guess I got to probably hit done when I do that, huh? And then let's choose that one every 25 seconds, right? So now you can see that each one of these cameras will switch after being on for 10, 15, 25 seconds, whatever you set it to. And then you can choose for that to loop. So if you don't have loop set, after it goes through all the cameras, it's just going to stop the auto switching. So if you click there, the auto switching will just continuously loop around. You can choose the order of your cameras to be sequential, so it'll go from HDMI 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the USBs. Or you can just have it be random, which I like because then it always mixes it up. And then your main video source, so you can choose which one of these to be your main video source. I would say mine is the USB 2. I don't really think that matters a whole bunch, but I guess you can choose that to be a different cut there. And then as soon as you're done putting all your settings in and you want to go ahead and start auto switching, you flick that switch right there. And if you notice down here it says disable auto switching to manually switch. You would just click that button and then you could just go back to manually switching. But they have that little safety there so you don't accidentally like, oh, I'm pressing this and it's, you know, not going to do anything. But if I hit disable, then it's done. Now we've done the auto switching, so we're going to get out of there and go. We've been to audio. Okay, right here is your platforms. If I click on my YouTube, I can choose to go public, unlisted, private. We'll go with public. And we're going to go with my Facebook page here. What's cool about this is you don't have to just go to your main Facebook page. You can choose any of the pages that you manage, like business pages, or you can also choose groups that you manage. And you can also choose to have the public, the friends, or only you to see it. So I'm going to choose public, and then I'm going to choose, we'll go with pages I manage because Film Sandwich is a page I manage. So we're going to click there, and we're going to go live there. I'm not going to go to live to Twitch just yet because I haven't really fully set that up. I just opened an account. But there is another thing too that you can do, which is actually really cool. Let's say that you have multiple YoloBoxes, right? And you're doing live streams in either 2 different rooms or 2 different locations. So you can actually bring in your the other stream if they're all on the same YoloBox account, so to speak. So if you have a YoloBox and you have multiple YoloBoxes and you have an account with Yololiv, all those YoloBoxes are going to be connected to that same Yololiv account. And then what you can do is, let me see if I can do it here. I have a camera plugged into the YoloBox Pro here. So I have 2 YoloBoxes. See if I can make them look prettier and straighter. Okay, so what I'm going to show here is that I have 2 YoloBoxes, one YoloBox Pro, one YoloBox Ultra. And I'm going to go ahead and go live here to my YoloBox Pro, on my YoloBox Pro, because what I can do here when I hit go live, oh wait, hold on. There is one thing that you have to make sure that you have, and that is the, let's see here, streaming mode. You have to both be on the multi-streaming, let's see, where'd you go? Nope. Streaming mode. You want to both be on the multi-streaming services. So both of these YoloBoxes have to be on that in order for this to work. Let me just double check to make sure this one is. Got it. Okay. So now that that is done, we can go over here to our platforms, and I'm going to choose the YoloBox Pro. I'm going to hit go live. And what's supposed to happen here is that I'm supposed to go live from my YoloBox Pro, and it's supposed to be sending that stream. It says online there. So basically, I'm going to see if I can bring the NDI camera back in because I had shut everything off and all of that went down. So yep, able to bring the NDI camera back in. Okay, NDI is there. So I have all these camera streams connected right now, but you can also bring in other sources of content, of media. So if you go over here and you choose Add Video Source, you'll see that these other ones are grayed out because they're being used. But if you go over here to Local Video 1, you can add any videos that you've recorded that are on your SD card or portable storage. So I'm going to just, this is from our YoloBox Pro review. I'm going to click there. And then that is just another source of media. And then I'm going to click here, and then you can also add another source, another video source of media here. So we did puppets for our YoloBox Pro review. And then here you can also add images. You can add images there. So if you wanted to add, let's say, a Yololiv image. Let's find something else here. This is like a picture of a machine from some gig that me and a colleague did. And if you have multiple images all together, you can click on this little guy and move through them. You can add another source. You can add a PDF documents here. So I'm going to add a PDF document. And then if you notice on a PDF document, it has 3 different little areas that you can flip through there. So just like that, if you have a PDF with multiple pages. Another video source is you can bring an NDI source, which I've already done. You can bring an SRT source, which I can't do because I don't have SRT stuff. And then last, you can bring in a live stream. Now, this is super cool. So this YoloBox Pro is sending out a live stream, right? And then I can bring that live stream into another YoloBox from another location, right? So now I have this live video feed, which is this camera back here that I have plugged into my YoloBox Pro. So I'm able to bring in a whole nother live stream. Now, the thing about that is that if you're in the same room, there's going to be a delay because it's going through the internet and all different kinds of channels and things before it gets back to you. So there's going to be latency. It's not going to be in time. But let's say you're doing a newscast somewhere and you have an event that's happening live somewhere and you wanted to bring that live event into your live stream, your news, and be like, hey, look at this live event happening live. You can do that. It's pretty amazing. So how many freaking sources do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sources of media that you can switch back and forth from. It's pretty crazy. There's our puppets. There's an image. There's from our other YoloBox testing, there's the NDI feed, HDMI 3, USB 2, USB 1, HDMI 2, HDMI 1, and then over here I have my other HDMI feed here, and then I also have the live stream from that. So that is amazing. You can also add in, more NDI, I think up to 3 now. And then another cool thing here is there's all kinds of different picture-in-picture layouts. You can do side-by-side interviewee stuff. You can do, 3 views of different sources. So let's say you have this source, and that source, and you want those all 3 to be together. You can go ahead and scale them up and down. You can choose border thickness. You can choose a background image. You can import your own image as the background image. What else here? I don't know if you can adjust the center of that. On this particular video, it's probably not the best use case for this. This is going to be more if you have like 3 people all talking. Now imagine like when you watch the news and you see like the 3 different people from 3 different locations all on the screen at the same time talking to each other. That is something that could be done here. Okay, so we're going to click done, and then that just comes up as another source. So then you have this right here as another source that you can cut back and forth from. And then if you wanted to say, oh, I want to get like the bigger shot, you can do that. And you're like, oh, I want the newscast shot. I got that. And if you ever want to delete any of these, you just press and hold, and then this little thing pops up to either delete it or edit. You can edit if it's one of these overlays, or you can hit delete, and then it's gone. I won't go through every single one of these overlays, but they are pretty cool. There's 3View 2. What does that give you? Well, that gives you that. There was one that I thought, the 3Views 1, maybe that does something else there. Oh, separator position, so you can move those guys around like that. This is 3Views 1. You can do that one there. Border thickness. That one doesn't have an image behind there, and then you can scale these guys up and down just like that. Cool. And then, so many sources that you can do here. So there's a bunch of different picture-in-picture layouts here for multiple. I think 3 is as far as it goes here. So side by side, you can do 2 people, 3 people. You can do a split view. You can do picture-in-picture. There's just so many amazing things that you can do with the YoloBox. Okay, so if you look right over here, there's a little spot where you can bring in comments from the social media sources like Facebook and YouTube, and you can overlay those to the stream. So I have one here on YouTube and Facebook. So if I click on that, it'll overlay that on the stream itself, which is super cool. So if anybody is commenting on your Facebook and YouTube live streams, you can involve them in the live stream and bring them in by overlaying their comment right on the live stream. I believe there are settings and things here that you can adjust if you so desire. You can choose all and show all these comments here, but you can only show one at a time. You can't put them all up on there, so you'll have to choose which one you want to show when. But that's just another thing that you can do. I can just imagine like a cool Twitch streamer, somebody video game streaming or whatever, or if there's like a live concert, or say that somebody's giving like a live stream speech, they could essentially answer comments from their viewers. So that is very cool thing to do. All right. So I've gone through all the settings, I've gone through the recording, I've gone through those comments, I've gone through auto, switching, scoreboard, sound, platforms. Oh, here's another one. So many things on these freaking YoloBoxes. It's just insane how much stuff they can do. So here you can bring in image overlays, you can bring in images. Let's see here, I can do that. And I can show this image, which does not fill the entire screen there for some reason. I think I pressed the wrong button. So it doesn't fill in the entire screen, but you can, every time you want to engage it and disengage it, you just click it one time, and it comes up. And if you want to disengage it, you click it again. So right now, I've pulled these image overlays in here. But you can go right here, and then you can go, oh, I want an image overlay, and then you can find images that are on your SD card or hard drive, and you can bring those in there. You can adjust scale setting there. As you can see, if it's not exactly the right dimensions, it's not going to fill up the screen. So when you're bringing in your images, make sure they're the right dimensions. And then I can bring in lower thirds. You can adjust these lower thirds, all kinds of settings. You can bring in a countdown timer, which is pretty awesome if you wanted to have a countdown timer for your stream. Like, hey, 3, 2, 1, the stream is going to start. You can adjust all the attributes for that. What else we got here? Countdown, we got titles. You can add these different titles in there. You can adjust those. What else we got? We got web URL overlays. So if you have a YoloCast account you can bring in graphics that you've made there on the YoloCast, which is pretty cool. That's like an internet-based web overlay that you can do. Let's see here. I think that's stopping me from doing something. Turn that off. Get back to this. Okay, web overlays. That one's on, so you can put that one there. Oh, that one's an animated one, so when I click on there, it takes a second, but then it animates up here. And if I press and hold, I can adjust that. So there it comes up there. I can move it down here. I can make it bigger if I want. And then social overlays. So if you wanted to like show off like your Facebook or your YouTube or your Twitch handle, like in the bottom left-hand corner, you can choose one of those. You can make all kinds of adjustments there. And then anytime you want to click on it and be like, oh, there it is. There's my profile name. Or I want this graphic here. Welcome to the show. You know, you can engage and disengage those things at will. We've already gone through the network bonding, which, as you can see, I am still participating in that. And let's see here. Oh, so another cool feature that you can do here is you can bring in a guest caller, which sounds weird, but say you had somebody that you were, you know, whatever stream that you're kind of doing, if you need to bring in a live guest from another location, what you can do is you pull up this little feature here with the two little guys, or two people, and then you can go here to invite guests. Looks like you can invite 4 at one time here, so I'm going to send myself this email. And then you're going to go send. All right, so now that has sent an email to me. Now I'm going to open up my phone here. Now you could use your phone, or if you have like a laptop or computer that has a webcam connected to that, you can do this. All right, so I'm going to go to my email here, and it says you've been invited to a YoloBox live stream. So you click on the accept invite. So a couple little things that you got to make sure that you have on here. Now you can have the guests come in. When they come in and they're already muted by default. That way when they come in, they're not like, hey, you know, with their audio. And then you have to have allow participants to join. So now when I click on here, now I should be able to join. I'm allowing my mic here. Okay, I'm going to go horizontal because that's how we're streaming. And then we have some settings here. I don't know if I can show that to you like this, but there are some settings here. I could mute my audio. I can stop the camera. I can choose which camera on my phone I want, what resolution I want. And if I click join event, what's going to happen is that I'm going to pop up here as another. All right, so there's a little bit of a sound issue there. But if you look here, let me get my finger out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and mute it. That way you don't have to hear my audio the entire time. But what it's showing here is it's showing actually the feed from the live stream, and then it'll show you your camera view. So like if I click here, it's going to show me the program feed. So your guests can see the program feed so they know what's coming. That's cool. But then you have this right here. So now that gives you a live feed from your phone or the webcam or whatever it is that the person is using for their video feed. But that basically makes it so you can bring in a live caller from another location into your stream. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that right there. Oh, it's still going. I actually have to leave. So I'm going to leave the event. So now I'm no longer there. I'll get rid of that one too. So another way to bring in a live caller, they could be anywhere as long as they have a strong internet connection and a camera that's connected to the internet. They could essentially call in live. Now, I keep saying news, but you know, say you're doing like a man on the street interview and you're doing live interviews around town, you could pipe those interviews into your YoloBox live stream and cut them in. And as long as you're not in the same room, there's not going to be a latency issue with the audio. So that is another really awesome thing that the YoloBox can do. Let's see here. Have I gone through everything? Network bonding, the image overlays, the platforms, the guest callers, the sound, the scoreboard, the auto switching, the comment overlays, the recording, and all of the settings. So I've gone through all of the features that the YoloBox can do here. There is a new thing that is happening that I've seen. I thought I was going to get a beta version of the app, but they are working on a application where you can remotely control the YoloBox from your phone. So there's going to be an app that you'll be able to switch your cameras, adjust settings, and all that, and you could be like, oh, I'm over here, I don't even need to touch the YoloBox. I could be walking around the room, I could be adjusting those settings, I could be switching cameras. Essentially, you could probably use a tablet like an iPad or you know, like a Galaxy Tab or something. I'm not sure if they're going to have it for iOS yet. I've only heard Android so far. But that is something that is coming that is going to be able to give you the freedom of moving around without having to stay attached to the YoloBox. Okay, so they did end up sending me the app afterwards after I filmed my main video, so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the app. It is still in beta form. I don't think it is released yet, but first thing you have to do, there will be an update, but let's just do the app test here. You got to open up a streaming project here. Alright, so you're going to have to add some video sources. I don't have any cameras hooked up here, so I'm going to just bring in some video sources. Alright, we got a couple video sources here. This one is upside down, so I can just flip it like that. Alright, so I got a couple video sources here. You're going to go over to your settings, and then you're going to go down here. It's going to say mobile control. As you can see, it's in beta. If you click on there, it's going to give you a little bit of instruction here on you have to be on the same network, and you can take a picture with your phone, so you can download the app there, and then you have to be on the same. You have to make sure the app has the same IP address. But if you've already done it like I have, you should be able to open up the app, and it's going to search for your YoloBox. If you're on the same network, make sure you're on the same network. I am on the Mars Vision LAN, and if you look here, you have your YoloBox with that IP address. You're going to click connect, and now you have your sources here. If you click on those sources, it'll switch right there. Now, it is a pretty basic app right now. I know it's in beta. They might jazz it up a little bit more, but right now it's pretty basic. It just gives you a way to remotely be able to switch your cameras. I mean, if you had other camera sources here, let's see, an image. So now see how that showed up there? PDF. It's like instant. It is so fast. It is pretty crazy how fast it is. And then look, I can switch there, but you know what? I can't switch through the thumbnails or through the PDF document on there. So maybe that's something that they're going to change or add. There's a little go live button right there. There's also a power button if you want to power your YoloBox down. Also, they have an overlay tab, so you can add the overlays. You can turn them on and off. Image overlay, here's the timer. It's like a little, so you get to do your image overlays, you can engage them, disengage them. And then also you have an audio tab. So here you can adjust, your audio, you can turn those on. See, if you look over here, it's doing what you're doing on the phone. So it's instant, look. So if you go to your overlays, bam, overlays are there. If you want to go to your sources, sources are there. So you can change those sources however you like. So that is a pretty cool extra feature that YoloBox is doing for us. So hopefully they'll release that soon so people can do switching and overlays and mixing their audio right from their phone remotely. I am going to go ahead and kill this live stream and stop recording, and I'm going to go into the vertical mode and kind of show you what you can do there. Okay, so basically, if you don't have your cameras turned vertically so that they will show up vertically on here correctly, you can crop into the horizontal image, and when that happens, you can press that little gear and you can choose to rotate, flip vertically, flip horizontally. You can do chroma keying, which that is another thing that you can do that I'm not going to be able to test out because I don't have a green screen readily available to me. If you look at our full YoloBox Pro review, we do test out the green screen there. So what happens here is that if you want to, say, adjust the cropping of the cameras so you don't have to rotate them, you can go to cropping here, and then you can move this little box around. You can adjust the scale. You can adjust the aspect ratio. We're choosing 9:16 since that's the vertical. And then you want to click Fit to Screen, and then that will not crop it and make it like inside a black box. It'll fill up the entire box. So what happens is that after you've done your cropping, then you can go over here and you can see that you've adjusted your camera feeds to that cropping. Right? Okay, so now, where are we at here? We're going to go, if you notice here, there's like a little tablet web page, and you have a few different platforms here that you can go live to. I'm going to try Instagram, so I'm going to click on the, actually you can go live to 2 platforms at one time, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then in vertical mode, you have a lot of the same settings that you've had before. Your settings, you have your, this is the one where you can have 2 apps open at one time. I'm going to show you that in a minute. They have the auto switching, the recording, the audio, the overlays, and the bonding situation. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to that so I can open 2 apps at one time. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a Facebook, and then I'm going to open up Instagram. Right? And basically the way this works, it's a little bit different. It's kind of like if you had a webcam hooked up to your computer and you were on Facebook or Instagram and you wanted to go live there, you can just go to the little plus sign here on Instagram, and you can scroll over to live, and then you can just click on live. Now it's going to check the connection, and it says you are now live. So now I am live on Instagram vertically. Okay, and then you can switch these different camera feeds here. That one is upside down for some reason. I don't think I got the cropping right, but you can adjust all those camera feeds vertically. Pretty cool. And it's the same thing. You can bring in the different sources. You can bring in, it doesn't, yep, it has the NDI there. So you can bring in the NDI camera. Let's see if it shows up there. Yep, there it is, done. And that camera is there. I wonder if I just do something like this, if it will adjust. Anyways, you can bring in the NDI camera. Just like anything else, you can just bring in all the different sources. So I'm live on Instagram right now. You do not have the comment overlays like you do in the horizontal way of live streaming. And then I'm going to go ahead and go live to Facebook here. So you just click on there like you would to make a post, and you click on live video. And now you click go live, and it gives you a 3, 2, 1 countdown. And now I am live on Facebook vertically. So I'm live on Instagram and Facebook vertically at the same time. And that's pretty amazing. It does not have the comment overlay feature like in the horizontal version, so you can't add those overlays, but you can, you know, add the all the other different overlays here, all the other image overlays and lower thirds, and you have all of your adjustments here for audio. You can record all of this. You can do the auto switching. There it shows my my live stream feed, my live feed on Facebook and Instagram, same time. There's my settings. You can full screen one of the streams there if you wanted to on your YoloBox, so I could just see it a little bit bigger if I wanted to, and then I can choose that. That's great for if you wanted to like see something a little bit clearer. So that is live streaming in vertical mode. It's pretty much the same as the horizontal mode except vertically. So I can go ahead and stop these streams here. I can click that little X and end that video. And then this one here, I can click finish, and it's ending my live broadcast. It gives you some options here after the stream is over. And then I can choose to close that second stream there. And then if you notice here, you'll have to do that little push-up thing, and then you can go back to your main page right there. And then you can also, it's just like an Android tablet where you can do that, and then you can close all of these different things you have open. Clear all, right? So you could go live to, you know, Zoom. You could do Zoom through here if you want. I don't know if you have to be vertical for that, but, and then over here you have this little APK Pure App Store where you can, it's got a little ad there, 2 little ads. It's a little addy. I don't want to install anything, but anyways, so this APK Pure is an app store where you could download other apps that you could do live streaming through. So that is a pretty amazing little thing that you have there. Back to the home. So that pretty much sums up the vertical live streaming. It's the same as horizontal live streaming, except I think I went through all of the features of the YoloBox Ultra. If I missed anything, please tell me in the comments below, and I'll see if I can make another video showing off that feature. But I'm pretty sure I got through them all. There was a lot. So I want to thank you for watching this episode of Film Sandwich and the YoloBox Ultra review. And we're going to do a comparison of the YoloBox Ultra with a couple other streaming devices in the next episode, so stay tuned.